my name is Carrie. Thanks for stopping by. I like to talk about mental health ever since I had some mental illnesses, but it wasn't until I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder 4 years ago that I started to blog and realized there was a big community out there. It made me feel a lot less lonely, but more importantly, I remember a lot of the great advice and input and guidance I got on my diagnosis and what to expect was from just people out there that had lived it. So I'm paying that forward. I just want to share my own experience, opinions, and provide some support for people that are going through some incredibly challenging times. Not like there's a pandemic going on, or maybe you lost your job or house, or your kids are driving you crazy because suddenly you're a teacher. I mean, that's enough. But if you're struggling with some mental illnesses, you gotta be feeling. Either way, if I can provide some support by giving you some information I have now after living with the disorder, then by all means, I'd love to do that. So I'm going to just talk today about 3 things about bipolar everyone should know. Right, the first thing isn't that hard, but the first thing I wish I knew about bipolar disorder was seeing my psychiatrist was going to be like, I didn't know it was going to be such a regular thing. I'm used to going to the doctor, the dentist, and occasionally all these different doctors. Your psychiatrist, when you're diagnosed with an illness, especially a mental illness, otherwise you wouldn't see a psychiatrist. But anyways, when you start to see your psychiatrist, if you're anything like me, I did not know. I was there for help, so I didn't know when to speak up. I didn't know exactly what questions to ask. It was all a new world for me. Generally, I have no filter, but a lot of things changed as my illness became more apparent and harder to handle. So I have been through, probably like many of you, several awful psychiatrists. And what I think is most important is that you got to be picky. It's like you're dating or like a homegirl, like you want them in your life, so pick the right one. Don't just settle for them. There's lots of them out there. So I wish I would have done that. The psychiatrist I have loved the most, they ask a lot of questions, and it's not always about medication or my illness symptoms. So I like that they've asked me questions about my sleep and my eat and drug use and alcohol and relationships, and they call me out and notice things when they're different. And I think that is why I've had the most success finding the right medication. So be picky. Choose your psychiatrist like you choose your boyfriend. Also, remember to educate your own self, because your doctors, they're gonna give you what they know, but there's still not a lot they know when you end up trying to find out the facts. So mental illness has not a lot of answers out there. I'm sure you guys know that now. Why do we have these things? How do we control them? No one knows. So we're trying, and that's okay. We got to start somewhere, right? But the first thing I think everyone should know about bipolar disorder is that it is okay to be picky about your psychiatrist. It's okay to speak up about concerns you have, and it's actually dire that you look up medications yourself, and that you're aware once you start taking a medicine, given it takes so long to kick in, side effects can still occur months later in your bloodstream. That's happened, or maybe immediately, and you'll know right then and there. But if I would have read the medication, there was some I just was not going to take after reading the research and science, and I did take them because I was naive and I didn't have the information, education, and I didn't have enough confidence to feel like I knew anything about this topic. But you don't need all that. You're still you at the end of the day, not just someone sick. You still have an incredible life to live, and they're trying to psychiatry is out there to help you do that, but find someone that really wants to help you do that. All right. The second, probably the most hardest experience I have went through since having a diagnosis of bipolar disorder is my first manic episode, psychotic features, and mixed episodes. I had a baby, and that kind of cycled into postpartum, and the rest is a little bit blurry. I read bipolar disorder books. I've read everything I can find, especially in the beginning, to try and educate and get a grasp on what I was dealing with. And I thought I would be so much more prepared than I was. But I was sick, and I never could have understood how sick I would get because I hadn't been manic enough where I was not making decisions and truly barely remembering these experiences. What I wish I would have done differently, what I'd like to tell you about episodes, whether they're depression episodes or mania, is that as much as you educate yourself, I wish I would have also put that education to use and made a plan. So I don't know my symptoms at first. Your first one will teach you a lot. So I'm grateful it happened. I'm a better, bigger, stronger person because of it, but I did not think I could recover from the damage after that. And I now, looking back, also today, I've implemented a safety plan. So I have family that can feel comfortable coming to me and addressing behavior or concerns, and I don't get defensive and I don't feel attacked. That was like super kind of uncomfortable to get used to, but I know it's for my safety, and they intervene now before it gets higher and out of control. It took one experience to teach me all of this, but if you have people around you that you trust, try to work together before you need to work together. My family knew about bipolar disorder. Like I said, I blogged and wrote about it, and I wasn't ashamed, and I talked about struggles all the time. But when I needed help the most, no one knew what was going on, and no fault of anyone's. Lesson learned, like I said, it's an illness, it ran its course, and we know now. But know the signs and symptoms, and after you educate yourself, set up a team. If you can trust people at work, that was also life-saving for me to a degree, to have people recognize that there was something different going on and it wasn't changing for a while. And so I think having trusted people can literally save your life. Trusted people that are not afraid to intervene when they need to. The third thing I find to be most important about bipolar disorder is talking about it openly. I did that, and looking back, I don't have regrets, but I think I would see the benefit in doing things differently. I was very open, and that was only because I felt like so ashamed, I think. So I wanted to get it out there and then accept me or don't. But it was bigger than that. Even though I was learning to accept me, there are people out there that don't understand mental illness isn't a character flaw. And after I'd become sick and work knew and school knew, and I started to lose really important things in my life from bad decisions and behavior, but to a degree was kind of out of my control at times, I also dealt with a lot of bullying, and especially in the workplace, where I felt most safe until I got sick and it backfired, and I had to like prove myself until it was too much. I knew they didn't want me anymore, and it was more healthy to step away than to stay there. But at the end of the day, I wanted people to accept me, and I thought if I just told them the truth, they will. And the truth is, not everyone will accept you, and that's going to be okay. Don't take it personal. And I know that's stupid to say because it is personal, but it's stupid of them. Like, they're the stupid ones. They don't understand how incredibly strong you have to be to get through this stuff. So, looking back, I would definitely have been more careful and selective of those I told about my illness. I think mental health is something we should all talk about. But mental illness, I hold closer to my heart now because people have extremely disheartening views, and we want them to accept us, and we want to be treated fair, and we want it to be equal like everyone else. But we're all different, and we aren't everyone else, and that's totally fine, as long as you're fine with it. So now I focus, and it saved my life, I focus on me. I have to accept me, and that's fine. And I have to love me, and that's fine. And it's not easy, but that's enough work in itself. I can't even worry about the crazies out there. So those are all the things about bipolar. No, they're not even the beginning of bipolar disorder or understanding it, but those are the most important things that came to mind, the lessons I've went through, the pain and heartache, and also good experiences in the end. Those are things that I want to share and get out there in hopes that it might help someone newly diagnosed or maybe someone that hasn't yet went through one of these things. Either way, best of luck to you, and you're not alone.